Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with the Surge palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This was given to me by a subscriber. I'm really grateful and I look forward to all the looks I'm going to be able to do with it. In today's video, I am not quite as upbeat as usual. I have a couple of things that are weighing pretty heavily on my mind, and I wanted to shift my mindset from dwelling on the sad stuff to focusing on some of the blessings that are in my life. So this is more of a count your blessings sort of video. If you're interested in seeing that or the eye look, do stick around. If you're new here, hey, my name is Rachel. I am a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I enjoy colorful eyeshadow and I upload several videos every week. If you don't know, I have a project called Palette Pull-In, which is where I have randomly selected a palette from my collection and I'm working my way through the shadows consecutively. And the goal is to use the next shadow in line every time I do my eyeshadow look. For the first palette that I was doing with my palette pull-in, I did great. I incorporated the palette in almost every eyeshadow look. I think I skipped it twice. I haven't done so well the second time. This is the palette that I'm working through right now, and I literally used it last in the middle or towards the end of June. It's really okay. It really is, because this is just a personal project. It's not a big deal. But I do want to include that shade today. So the next shadow in the palette is actually the gold shimmer, and it's broken. However, I can dig my finger around and get the dregs of it. So I'm planning to use that gold shimmer somehow in today's look. I have absolutely no idea how today's look is going to go. I'm just going to dive in and see where it goes. I have already primed my eyes. I used the Glamlight icing primer. Everything that I'm using is mentioned below in the description box. It's linked if it's still available. Let's go. I think I'm going to put a bunch of colors in my crease and try to do a gradient. Therefore, I have a small blending brush. This is the Blend Bunny B2. These are also linked below in the description box. And I'm going to start in the shade Cut Out. I started following one or two new people who use Blend Bunny all the time, and they make the most beautiful, intricate eyeshadow looks. Now I'm going into the shade next to it. It's called Cheeks. And they do these really, really intricate, complicated, multicolored, multifaceted like cutouts. And those cutouts allow them to dip into totally new colors and random shades, and they'll separate things with glitter liner, and they just have very creative looks. And so that is in my mind. Now I'm going to take the shade Charged. So that's in my mind, and I'm thinking, oh, I could be so creative with this palette, but I don't think that my skill level is there. And that's the struggle for me right now, is that my skill level is not up to what those women can do. And so I'm putting pressure on myself to be uber creative with something where maybe if I had a bunch of time to sit and do it, but honestly, it's early in the morning and my little ones are going to wake up. Now I'm taking the neon orange called Power. I'm not at that creative level right now. Well, that's okay. So today I am feeling kind of upset. Now I'm taking the shade Juicy. There's something that happened. I got a message yesterday that's not the most positive news that I've received lately. And I'm upset about it, and I'm not gonna talk much about what that is. And here is the shade Taboo. I had a lot of trouble sleeping because I was just feeling like heavy-hearted. When I was analyzing my feelings a bit, I think that I was also feeling a little bit bitter and a little bit angry. There was a lot on my mind, and it was making me not be able to relax and rest, which is partly why I'm up at 4:30 in the morning doing my eyeshadow. I literally thought about just waking up when I was struggling to fall asleep at midnight, and then 1, and then 2. I'm like, should I just get up? Should I just go downstairs and do something? And then maybe that will make me tired and I can doze on the couch for a few hours before people wake up. I don't know. I ended up being able to fall asleep, but I felt that I was bitter and angry and frustrated. And I decided that a good way to handle these negative feelings would be to essentially count my blessings. I have so many beautiful things in my life. I don't want to forget them while I'm grieving a different situation. And it is a situation that's worth grieving. It really is. My feelings are not out of place, I think. I think they're... Just dropped my brush. I think they're quite warranted, honestly. I just keep brushing off this B2 brush and I'm working with these shades. It's just... Okay. The feelings of bitterness and resentment are wrong. They're justifiable. They're understandable, but that doesn't make them right. It's not my place to hold on to bitterness and anger towards another person. I'm gonna dip back into these shades and work them a bit more. But it's not healthy to hold on to those feelings. People may come to me and say that it's totally valid for me to feel this way. And again, feelings-wise, that may be true, but I can't let feelings run my life. Feelings are not sacred. Feelings are not paramount. Feelings are not the most important thing. And I have to guard my heart against bitterness and resentment. And that's what I want to do right now. So I'm going to sit here for a little while, and I'm going to reflect on some of the great blessings which the Lord has given to me. And I'm hoping that in doing so, I'll be able to let go of some of these nasty, negative feelings that are just not healthy for my soul. The Lord has given me a beautiful family. My husband is amazing. We've been married for 13 years. They were not 13 years without difficulty or strife, but they have been 13 years of personal growth and deepening our relationship, growing closer, getting to know each other more, getting to know each other better, learning how the other person works, how they tick, what ticks them off. It really is so much experience in letting go of your own small, petty, insignificant needs and thinking of another person. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into marriage, and that is good for us. We are naturally selfish creatures, so it's good to break us away from what we instinctively want to do and consider another person. So I want to reflect on what God has done. He's done a lot in our marriage, so that's beautiful. We have 3 amazing daughters. All of whom were completely unexpected because we weren't supposed to be able to have children naturally. The fact that we have 3 of them all naturally is just such a huge blessing, such a gift, something that we weren't expecting. It was just God being like, here you go, have an amazing little person to love, this wonderful person who is going to adore you. You can love them for the rest of your life, and you can forge relationship with them and teach them everything they'll know. It's amazing. And my girls are the best. They're just the sweetest, most compassionate, kind, loving, wonderful little people. They're intelligent, they're beautiful, they're creative, they're thoughtful. I just love them. Okay, now what? I think I want to take the shade Linger. I'm trying to plan out the rest of my look now. I'm taking the shade Linger, and I'm just going to put this right on the edge of this burgundy matte that I laid down. I have no plan. This might look awful when it's done. Anyway, other blessings. The Lord has given us a safe home. We've been trying to move into a house, and we were overqualified for each of the properties to which we applied. And what I mean by overqualified is that we made more money than they wanted and our credit scores were better. The problem was that every landlord wanted somebody to move in immediately, and we needed to give 30 days notice where we are now. And so the landlords just moved on down the list until they found somebody who could move in right away. And I was confused by this because I understand it's the landlord's prerogative, and of course they want rent right away. I get it. But who's ready to move in immediately? Unless you're moving in from out of town, everything you own is packed up, or you don't own anything. Maybe you're living with friends or living in a hotel. Aside from that, like, doesn't almost anybody have to finalize their situation where they are before they can move? We were not able to secure a house to move into, and we decided to just stay here. So that was a lesson in contentment, because there's nothing wrong with where we are. We're in a townhome, and we would just like to be in a house with more storage and closer to my husband's job. But it's okay. Now I think I'll take Rush. By the way, I'm doing everything with this B2 brush because I have no plan. I'm just sort of talking. Okay, I'm not loving how this is looking, but I'm gonna finish it out and see how it goes. I'm hoping that shimmers can bring it all together. This is a flat brush, and I'm gonna start in the shade Flash. I'll put this on my inner corner. Should I spray it? I don't know. The shimmers in this palette, I'm going to pop up a video for you guys. I swatched this palette the day that I received it, and this is a slightly older formula, and I was expecting the mattes to be really good. I wasn't sure how the shimmers would be. I think that they swatched quite nicely, honestly. A couple of them are a little bit better than the rest. Recently, the owner of Blend Bunny was asking questions on her Instagram, and somebody asked her if you could change anything in an existing palette, what would it be? And she specifically said she would improve the shimmers in the Surge palette. So take that for what it is, but that's what I'm using today. After I use this shade Flash, I will go into Underneath, which is the pretty blue shimmer. And I'm laying these down dry. Maybe I'll spray them next, I don't know. And I have to remember that palette pull-in shade too. Other blessings. I have a good relationship with all of my in-laws. I know some people don't get along with their in-laws. I love my in-laws, and my husband's from a large family, so to really get along well with all of them, all of his 8 siblings, all of their spouses, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. In fact, my mother-in-law came out when the baby was brand new. She spent a week here and it was such a wonderful time. She was so helpful and she let me get so much rest. And I think it really was because of her trip that I was able to recover very quickly from that labor and delivery. Get along really well with her and my father-in-law, and even though we live quite far away from them, they're a good emotional support for me, even if they're not able to be here most of the time. And that's always been the case. When my husband and I were dating, sometimes I would go to his house when he wasn't even there, just to hang out with his family. I remember praying often when I was dating my husband, thank you, Lord, for this family. And yeah, every family has warts. Every family has struggles and issues, but they really are wonderful people, and I'm so grateful that we get along so well. Go back into the shimmers, and I'm going to spray them this time, so I'll load the brush and then spray them. Other blessings. My husband and I, but really our daughters too, we are strong and healthy. We don't have any significant medical issues. In my last pregnancy, I started having pain in my feet. Now I'm going to go into my palette Poland shade. Again, it's from the Child palette from ColourPop. The shadow is called The Force, and mine broke, so I'm just dipping my finger in like this. And I think I'm going to put this, I think I'll put it between these 2 shimmers. So I'm just going to tap it right here. And then once it's laid down with my finger, ooh, that really made the shimmer more green, didn't it? I'll go back in with my flat brush. I'll just work the edges a little bit. By the way, if you happen to want to follow along with this look, there is a gold shimmer in the Surge palette, which you could do this with as well. So I started having foot pain in my last pregnancy, and it has continued after the fact. I think it's probably plantar fasciitis if I want to self-diagnose, but my feet hurt. They just do. And I'm working on losing residual weight because I think that, practically speaking, if my body's lighter, my feet won't hurt as much because there's not as much weight on them. I'm not very heavy, but I could easily lose 20, maybe 30 pounds, and that would be a better weight for my body. I'm going to do my lower lash line and then see how I can try to finish this off. This look is taking ages because I have no plan at all. First, I'll take the shade Shocked, and I'll put this at my inner corner. I think the neons in this palette are really the most exciting. I also have some neons in the Nomad Monteverde Cloud Forest palette, but I was really drawn to the neon shades in this palette. Now I'm going to do green to match this mix here, so that shadow is called Chemistry. Other blessings. My husband has a good job. He is the sole breadwinner for our family, and he has been blessed with a good job with great people, amazing bosses. His bosses are seriously wonderful people. They are so kind and generous and loving. They're just really good friends of ours. In fact, we're going to dinner at one of their houses on Friday night, and it's going to be a great time. Now I'm going to take the blue, it's called Energy, and they're really awesome people with awesome wives and awesome kids, and it's a huge blessing that I know he can go to work, and even, yeah, he might have a frustrating day, but overall he has a wonderful job, and it is truly a gift, and it meets all of our needs, provides for us. It's fairly compensated, and it's just a good position. Dropped it again. It's been a long night. I think that the neon shadows have gotten completely lost in the crease area. The crease just looks like peach and then pink. All of the neon shadows and the nuances that I had placed down have been blended away, which is not really a surprise because I think I was being too ambitious. Okay, I put the white matte on my inner corner. It's called White Hot, and I took the neon yellow and tapped it on top. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't love it. I'll probably like it better with the other eye matching. It certainly doesn't have the precision that I was envisioning, but again, I don't think I have the skill set for that and probably wasn't using the right brush. And it's 4 in the morning and I'm working on 3 hours of sleep. So I'm going to catch the other side up and I'll be right back. All right, my friends, let me tell you how I finished off today's look. In my waterline, I used the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Extra Frosting. I have this NYX glitter body liner. It's in this shade crystal silk, so it's basically like a black based gold, and I put just a little line outlining the shimmers in my crease. You probably can't see on my camera because I don't have the best camera settings, but that's what I did with this. I wanted to tie into the gold shimmer from my palette pull-in. On my lips I'm wearing this product from NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Eclair, and then I topped it with the ColourPop lip oil in the shade Hay. And then I used the eyeshadow palette for blush. I was looking at the Blend Bunny blush palettes and I thought, they look really pretty, but I'm not really a blush girl. I can probably achieve any of these colors or any color I want simply using the thousands of eyeshadows that I have. So for my blush, I dipped in very, very, very lightly into this shade and this shade. And I just tapped in really lightly with my blush brush and then I put it on. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I do have purple blush on today. And I have the BH Cosmetics Frosé highlighter palette on. I did a winged eyeliner and mascara. That's the whole face. So as far as the eye look goes, I like it. I don't love it. And the reason I don't love it is because I sort of forgot how pigmented, this eye especially, I got a little carried away with the blending and so it went higher than I prefer and I lost some of the definition. Therefore, the whole look is a tiny bit more blown out than I wanted. I do like it better now that I've placed down the shimmers and once I brought in the contrast on the lower lash line. I think it's pretty. I don't dislike it at all. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't the most upbeat. It is not healthy to sit and dwell on the bad stuff. And I don't want to bring that into my life. Those feelings of bitterness or anger or frustration, holding on to those feelings is really unhealthy and sinful, and I don't want that in my heart. So I wanted to fill my mind with the more positive, beautiful blessings that the Lord has given me, and it will help me shift my perspective for the day. So if you guys have stuck through this entire video, through all my ramblings, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being with me. I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing. Generally, my content is much more upbeat than this, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.